Alrighty, I think we are in. Let me just check this. Got a bit of technology going here, teams. So I just want to double check that I'm live. I'm on. So give us a couple of. There we are. I can see it. I've got another screen over here. So kia ora, everyone. Great to be here. We'll have a little kōrero and just check that this is all going. Testing, 1, 2, decrease that. Be keen to hear where everyone's from, whether you're watching this live or replay, where you are in the country, and what you've been feeling today. It's been quite interesting walking around. Well, I went up to town here in sunny Otaki and obviously seeing a few people at the supermarket and stuff, but thinking that, one more day until kind of this isolation lockdown thing kicks in. So be keen to hear how you've been feeling, what's on your mind, and throughout this, I've got another screen over here that I can see. So if you've got any questions throughout this little kōrero, it's going to go for about probably say 15 minutes, 20 minutes. We'll try and cut it off there. I know everyone's got a busy life, but really want to make sure we get a few tips across to help us enhance and get through some of our maybe our mindset challenges that we're having here. So if you're on here, kia ora, Elise, thanks again for the opportunity to jump on. Terry, thanks for the like. Those who are watching, just type in where you are and what you had for dinner. Let us know what you had for dinner. So pop a few of those in the comments now, just so I know that's working, and then we'll kick straight in to this little kōrero about how we can really train our mind and ourselves to look at challenging opportunities or challenging moments as opportunities, as silver linings, as times for growth, inspiration, and hope. It's really a unique time in our history, and our grandparents and our other older relatives went through some certain events in their life, and how they responded and how they looked at those events impacted how our parents were brought up, which impacted how we were brought up. So I think it's a really awesome opportunity for those of us who are parents, or even those of us who are growing into being parents, to take advantage of what we're going through and using it as a positive opportunity rather than a negative, because it will influence the next generation. Now, I hope I say this name right. Is it Joanna? Kia ora, Joanna. Oh, there we go. Awesome. Alicia, Parapara Umu, Levin, haven't eaten yet. Feel free to eat, Joanna, whenever you want. Beans and veg, nice. Parapara Umu, Sarah, kia ora, Nicola. Awesome. Cassie, Waikanai, cooking bolognese. Oh, nice, Terry. Love the crumb chicken. Kamo. Oh, mate, I haven't had that in a while. Kia ora whai, Cleo. All right, thanks, team. Rosanna, brilliant. Parapara umu, homemade pumpkin. Nice. Hey, well, team, feel free to cook away and listen to us in the background, and then obviously you can catch the replay. So, my kaupapa here tonight is to give you two daily tools that you can start to implement in your day, in your life, to help you create this mindset where you can start seeing more opportunities rather than challenges. So let's kick into this, and there's always fingers crossed technology works. All right, so we're going to cover off why humans have fear. And those of you who are at the session, 3 weeks ago now, I think, down at the Functional HITT NZ facility, we covered off this. So recovering for those who were there, but those who weren't, this might be something new. Why are we panic buying? Why are we feeling anxious? Why are we feeling worried? And why are some of us thinking maybe the worst, and that this is a time of challenge and hardship rather than a chance of connection and maybe even prosperity for some. The second part we're going to cover is how do we work through these challenges. Now, this is the key word, there's work, okay? Just like we go to the gym and we get to Elisa's awesome classes, or you do things that it involves work. Nothing's just going to happen like that and fall on your plate. So what we're going to give you is some activities or a specific activity to do on a daily basis, all right? And it's something that I started doing on a very regular basis, and it's now just routine, and it's like riding a bike. We've just got to get it done. All right, so let's start with the fear piece. Those of you out there who are maybe teachers or maybe in the medical space, I'm just checking comments here. Chuck kia orana out there on the comment section, but you might have come across Nathan Makaire-Wallace, Catherine Burkett. They work in that neuroscience sphere, and I went to one of Nathan's sessions when my 2-year-old was causing me massive challenge, and I was like, what's going on here? How come they're not listening? Why aren't they doing? Why are they always tantruming? And so went to Nathan's session, and he said, right, we need to understand the brain. And he broke it into 3 parts. The first part is the survival brain, and basically this brain keeps us alive, right? It does all those things that we don't have to think about that keeps us alive, like breathing, swallowing, digestion, blood flowing, our skin cells regenerating, our internal organs regenerating. All of those things to keep us alive is what the survival brain does. And that's the first part of the brain that develops. Could be like the brain stem here. Then the second part of the brain that comes online is called the emotional brain, and that's obviously where all our emotions are stored. Now, for females, we've got a wide menu of emotions. For males, we've only got 2: angry and happy. So we store those in that emotional brain. Now, every living thing has these 2 parts of the brain, but the human being has a different part of the brain, which makes it different than every other living being. And this is, we call it the Google brain. Nathan calls it managing brain. Scientific name is frontal cortex. Now, this part of the brain is absolutely amazing, which is why I call it Google, because it can actually help you solve. Now, just take note of this. It can help you solve any challenge in your life. Now, we are facing a challenge right now, right? 4 weeks, isolation with whānau, not going to work. Some of us may have lost jobs, etc. So it's a challenge, right? And so this part of the brain can help us overcome any challenge that we face. It problem solves, it's solutions, it's forecasting, it's rationalizing, all these superior functions. Now, I asked myself, okay, so if that can do anything or help us overcome anything, then why are we struggling? Why do we have challenges? And Nathan went on to say that we've got this old wiring, this old software that we inherited from caveman and cavewoman days that has stayed within us. So it's like, yeah, we've got a new house. You know, we don't have the cave and the dinosaurs and whatnot anymore, but we've got this old wiring and software through our brain called the stress response. Now, just type in here on the comments, who's heard of the stress response? Yes, no, maybe. What do you think the stress response is? And so Nathan went on to talk about how this stress response software causes our brain to short circuit. And so this is how it works, right? It was developed for us to stay alive. It's like a security system. So imagine you're in your house and any threat comes into your property, into your house, the alarm system goes off. And so Imagine caveman, cavewoman days. You're out there hunting for food with the spear. You might be fishing, and then a Tyrannosaurus Rex comes out, rah, from behind you on the side of you, a saber-toothed tiger. And what happens is that sees that animal or thing as a threat. It's going to kill me. Now, what happens is the emotional, actually, it's not the emotional brain. It should just be the Google brain. The Google brain shuts down, and we only operate from our survival and emotional brain. So when he went on to talk about that, I was like, so the Google brain, which is helping us solve all these issues and can help us overcome any problems, is now not working. And he was like, yeah, it's now out of order, can't access it. And now we just respond from our survival and emotional brain. Now, when you see that, I'm just having a little bit of audio problem here. I'm sure we've all seen this in action, right? We've all seen where people are in survival or emotional mode, probably in the supermarket recently, and they're just emotionally driven, they're fear driven. When people are often having arguments, it's two survival and emotional brains going at it. No one can see the rational view of what they're actually doing, and they can't solve it. And it's just two heads butting up against each other. So this stress response kicks in when there's any threat in our world or when we perceive it to be a threat. Now, what also is a unique part of the brain is that it can't tell the difference between a real threat and an imaginary threat. Okay, because today there's no more Tyrannosaurus Rexes, there's no more saber-toothed tigers. The weather's not too bad, so that's not going to kill us anymore. But today we have perceived threats that we perceive are going to kill us, and our stress response kicks in. And so some examples of those threats are deadlines at work, overload, workload at work. How are we going to get all this done in this short amount of time? Bills to be paid, losing our jobs, this pandemic, right? They can be all seen as threats, and some are real, right? Getting the virus if you're over 80, and that can be a real threat. But not paying bills, is that a real threat? Are we going to die? Now, it's a deeper conversation, but we're not. We might lose the house. Will we die? No. Will we live in a smaller house? Maybe. Why is that a threat? Oh, well, it gets down to basically what people think of us and what we're worried that they'll say or think of us, and that we'll be, excluded from the tribe because, oh, hey, look at them, they're now living there or not living there or now don't have their house, right? So we have these perceived threats. I want you to write in here, and I'm just trying to make sure I can see the comments. I want you to write in here, what do you think are the perceived threats that you have in your world before the coronavirus? Was it workload? Was it deadlines? Was it, 5 kids, 3 kids? Was he a partner? All these things that were perceived threats that we thought were in danger kicks off the stress response. And the stress response causes fight, fright, or flight. And some of us are doing that right now because we are in perceived threat and fear. Now, what that means is some of us aren't using or having access to our Google brain right now because it's shut off. And that's where all the magic is, okay? So, what the secret to life, and I was saying this the other day at the session we did, is the secret to life is staying in our Google brain for as long as possible. And the question I then asked was, well, how do I know when I'm in my Google brain? Like, that's how do I know? And this is a great model for us to use, to reflect on, to measure where my thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are right now. That's for thoughts, feelings, behaviors are right now. And so some of us are, let me see here. Well, actually, I'm having trouble with the comments on this other computer, but if you can see these words, what words might best fit how you're feeling, what you're thinking, or maybe how you're behaving right now? Um, like we've definitely seen some obstacles. We've definitely seen people seeing problems. Um, are we seeing responsibility being taken? Are we seeing possibilities, or are we finding better ways? Now, this is called the above and below the line model, and it is a great model to make sure whether we're operating in our Google brain or in our survival and emotional brain. So below the line, if we catch ourselves making excuses, if we catch ourselves blaming others, if we catch ourselves doing nothing, if we catch ourselves feeling like a victim, oh man, I didn't make it to the shop in time, so many others are buying stuff, I, you know, that victim mode. I know we probably all know someone who just feels like the world is on top of them. Then if we're below the line, this means we're operating in our survival and emotional brain. We're in a stress response state and we're not accessing our Google brain. Google brain is all those things above the line. We can find better ways, we're taking action, we're trying to find solutions, own it, see it. And when we're in that space, it's a totally different life, team. It's a totally different outcome. It's a totally different way of being. And I'll just share the example that I did in the live earlier today on my page was around, okay, we're now going to be home for 4 weeks. Everyone's going to be in the house. My darling will be working from home. And up until this point, just recently, that we weren't on the same page with parenting. I wasn't on the same page, right? So I like a bit of freelancing kids and grazing when they want for food, kind of this child-centered approach, but wasn't big on routine, wasn't too big on discipline. So we had to sit down and go, okay, well, how are we going to do this? Because we're all in the house now. And I really realized how important through the conversation with how important routine was, the benefits of routine. It's going to make our life a hell of a lot easier. And so long story short, I now see these 4 weeks as a chance to get me on the waka, because I was off the waka, but now get on that waka with her and be a team as parents and start to introduce that routine and discipline. So I'm pretty excited, to be honest, around this next 4 weeks and how we can grow, or me, how I can grow as a parent, as a partner, and be together for once. All right, and that'll be a massive shift for me, and it'll grow our relationship and our connection, and our kids hopefully, no doubt, will benefit from it as well. So I saw possibility. I started to solve. I started to own it. Like it is me that makes these changes. I started to take action. All right, so that's a quick example on how above the line can drastically change the way we feel, think, and behave. Now, just quickly, tap in. What are you feeling? What have you noticed? What are you looking to change? Because that key in life is to stay above the line. All right, this activity, whether if you're sitting down, I want you to do a squat just off the chair, just like this. Don't touch the chair though, like the old war squat. And hold it there until you solve this puzzle. All right, so if you're watching this right now, tell me what the question mark is. Let me know what number you think that red question mark is at the bottom. Hold your wall squat. Okay, I'm going to check these comments. All right, keep guessing, keep guessing. No, keep going, keep going. Keep going. Guess what number it is. What number is it? No, not 19. Thank you, Sarah. Alrighty. So, let's just quickly go over this. There's the shoes, that's 30, so that means each pair of shoes are 10. All right, let me write this down too. That means if the shoes are 10, then the two men must be 5 each. All right. Now, if the man is 5 and those are 13, then that must mean the ties are 4. 5 plus 4 is 9, plus 4 is 13, right? So then what's one shoe? Come on, Christina Sue, you must know this answer. I just seen you joined on there. Come on, PE teacher. All right. So what is that question mark? Who saw the one shoe? All right. So it's one shoe. All right. So that's 10, that's 5. Okay, plus the man. Now the man up the top there was 5. Times. Did anyone see the times? Give me a hell yeah if you saw the times. And the one tie. Okay, the one tie. What was your guess, Sui? Type it in there, bro. Now, why do we miss the one shoe? Some of us miss the one shoe down the bottom of there. Some of us miss the times. Ah, nice, Cleo. All right, if you're still kind of squatting, you can sit down now. Nicole, I'm not sure if that's an answer yet. The answers are irrelevant because what I want us to get is that some of us miss the one shoe. Some of us think there's 2 shoes. Some of us miss there's a times there. And some of us miss that there's only one tie there. Okay, now why do we do that? Well, basically, there's a filter in our brain that picks up what we're seeing. All right. Now, there's 11 million senses that give us our visual view of life, or that can give us our visual view of life. 11 million senses. Now, we can't take all that information in. It's too much. So our filter enables us to take in what we want and what's relevant to us. Okay, what we think and what we feel we want to see more of. Now, why is this important? Because if we are in fear and we're living below the line, and we're acting and thinking and being below the line, then we're going to pick more of that up. Our filter's going to go out to the world and see more negative things that cause us to feel fear and doubt. All right. So, however we're feeling, the more we feel about it and think about it and act about it, means our filter is going to pick up more of that stuff. Because what's the filter's role? It's to pick up evidence to support what we're thinking and feeling. Okay, so it's really important that we stay above the line as much as possible, because it's only going to accumulate. It's only going to build on itself. It's only going to find more and more of that as we move forward each day. Okay, so I love this quote. Yes, thanks. Oh, Nicole, thank you. So missed it. Shot Terry and Cleo. And so this quote here really took me back as, to be above the line. I found it really challenging because I let other things cause me to suffer, to cause me have this emotional reaction, to be below the line. I used to let the way my kids behaved. I used to let the weather. I used to let how other people drive. What else? Used to let how other people behaved at work. And all of that affected me, or I let it affect me. So if we have an emotional reaction to everything out there, and we have that emotional reaction negatively and we below the line, then we're ultimately letting them and those things control us. We have lost control. Give us a amen, hell yeah, if you relate to that. Okay. So the key is to, and this is easier said than done. This is the work on. This is the continual work. This is like going all black status here, is to not be affected by those things. All right. And so with the filter that we see life in right now, whether it's below or above, whether we see challenge or opportunity, we can actually tune it. We can tune the filter into our view. So on the left there, we can either see out the window and see a brick wall, and we maybe can see obstacles and challenges and dullness and just no opportunity, or we can see out through a beautiful window and the scenery, and we can see possibility, we can see hope, we can see opportunity. And this filter, we can tune it just like a TV channel. It is that simple, but again, it takes work. All right, so give us a yes on the comments if you're up for work. I can now see the comments very clearly. Give us a yes if you're keen to do the work. Give us a thumbs up if you're keen to do the work. Because if you could go from one view to the next, who would want that? Like, who would want to be able to go from one view to the next? This is how powerful it is, right? I used to walk in and get agitated when I see clothes on the floor and mess in the kitchen because I was quite a, tidy guy. I like to be tidy. And I used to get in a mood, oh man, I just had a whole day's work and now I've got to pick up the washing, now I've got to do the dishes. And that used to really agitate me. And then after doing this daily ritual for 2 weeks in a row, I walked in and I was grateful that my darling was at home. Like when I saw the clothes on the floor, the first thought that came into my mind after 2 weeks doing this activity was that, oh man, she's home. Or when the kids would cry at night, right? The kids would cry and I'd get up in the middle of the night when they were younger and I would just moan to people at work that, I had a shit sleep, kids wake me up, da-da-da. And I'd just go in and close the door, give them a bottle, walk out. After doing this activity for 2 weeks in a row daily, my view just changed automatically. And when I heard them cry, I went, oh, yeah, thank God they're alive. And I remember catching that thought going, whoa, that's new, that's different, way different. Now that thought changed my behavior because I walked in and I sat with them the whole night and didn't leave. I hugged them instead of just leaving straight away. So the power of tuning our filter means that we automatically see situations for the better, and then that changes our behavior and it changes our view, and we see more possibilities and more opportunities, and we take action rather than feeling stuck. All right, so awesome, Terry, Cassie, Jess, awesome, good to see. Yeah, hands up, beautiful. Yes, so this is where the work starts. All right, so just quickly, and it's going to involve your interaction. You're just going to go through a scenario. I'm going to walk you through a scenario, and I just want you to type in how you're feeling. Okay, so quite relevant because we're about to do something that none of us have never done tomorrow night. But take yourself to a place at work or a day where you're walking into work, and that night you're going to this event that you're just so excited about. It might be that 10-day holiday that you've been planning for years with your family. It might be the boys' weekend to Vegas, Roto Vegas, or Las Vegas. It might be the girls' trip to Europe for 4 weeks. What is this event that just gets you so excited that you're just like skipping through the doors and you're just like on a high vibe? So start typing what event it is for you. Is it the wedding in Rarotonga? Is it the family trip to Gold Coast to do all the theme parks, Disneyland? Come up with an event that you're just so excited about that you would just love to go towards, right? Start typing those in the comment box so I can see what you're thinking and what you're dreaming of. Because when you're going on holiday, right, you walk into your workplace, totally different mood, totally different vibe than anyone else. You're kind of walking on high and you're skipping along, and and people are like, oh, what are you doing? Where are you off to? And I'm out of here tonight. So put yourself in those shoes and notice how you're feeling and acting. I really need you to notice how you're feeling and acting right now and the thoughts you have. And just before we go any further, actually, I want you to just put it in your back of your mind it's like, man, it's like you've almost won lotto, like, it's 10 million or whatever. Oh, nice, Cassie, family trip to Europe to see family. Awesome, Sarah, 3-week holiday. Yeah, US. Beautiful. In December, something coming up. Great. So in the back of your mind, store in your head, what would you do if you won lotto, when you win lotto, if you won lotto $10 million, pay the bills, buy the houses, holiday, help family, da-da-da. Just keep that ticking in your back. Start creating that list if you haven't already got a list. So, back to going to work. You walked in, shot Jess, honeymoon, Stewart Island. Yeah, nice, hens. Beauty. Get that picture in your head and you're walking through, and notice how you're behaving when you're interacting with people, and notice what happens when someone comes up to you and bugs you. Might be another staff member that goes, hey, can I have this? Or if you're teaching, it might be kids who get on your nerve, or they might start fighting. Notice, shot Susan, Perth in September, beautiful. Start noticing how you're reacting to those little things that might usually agitate you. Um, you know, what I feel most when I do this with people, say, "Oh, yeah, who cares, man? I'm out of here. This is just easy. Let's whatever, go over that. Let's start typing in how you feel when someone might agitate you when you're on this high vibe, and you're going through the day, and more people come up and bug you, but you're just so looking forward to tonight. You're flying, you're going to this event that nothing can bust your bubble because you're so excited about it. Then at lunchtime, the boss calls everyone in and says, hey, team, we've just been notified that this virus is spread from China. It's spreading around the globe, and all travel is cancelled. And actually, all events and gatherings are cancelled. So now this trip that you're planning, so I'm just going to plug in, my old power's dropping out. Now, the thing you were planning is now gone. And what we have to do for the next 3 to 4 days is work here as a team to get all the mahi done. All right. And actually, what we have to do is after that, we're going to go into 4 weeks isolation, into family, into your house. So I want you to type in down in the comments, how do you feel once that's happened? That event you're looking for has been taken away from you now. How do you feel right now? And how does the next 4 weeks look like? How do those next 3 days having to work, in the office, and then the next 4 weeks? Like, how does this feel now? That thing you had is now gone. Type in, what are you feeling? Woohoo, overtime. Cheers, nice. Sometimes it can look, tough. It can look like a hill and a mountain. A lot of the time when we talk through this, a lot of people are saying, oh man, this is shit. I've lost my thing. Boo, hiss, nice, Kalina, Kelda. All right. And so you go on with the rest of your day and just notice, man, how you're behaving now after that lunch meeting, how you're feeling. Now, someone comes to agitate you. Nice, Terry, gutted. Someone comes to agitate you. Oh, hey, can I have that report? Or, hey, I need this by 3 o'clock. Notice now how you react to that. Start typing in how you might react. Just turn my light on here. Busy. Tad miffed. Everyone gets a rest. I get more work. Hopeful but anxious. Kia ora, Sarah. And sometimes now we're dragging our feet. A little deflated. Nice, Cassie. But I've got to keep high for the kids. Aren't they great motivators? And we're dragging our feet at work. We can be a bit sluggish now. We went from a high vibe to a very low vibe. Now we go through the afternoon and the boss calls us in just before dinner because everyone's staying in, and the big boss, chairman, whoever it might be, comes skipping into the room, and you're like, bro, what's up with you, mate? Like, we've just been told we can't go anywhere. Our event, things that we've been looking for to be cancelled, and you come skipping in here like you've bloomin', I don't know, what have you been on? And they say, look, team, I'm pretty excited. I know we've got some, challenging times ahead in the next 4 weeks. And I know that some of us have had to cancel stuff that we've been looking forward to. But I just want to share with you something really exciting. A former, if you're at a school, could be a school member. If you're at a workplace, it could be a trustee. But anyway, someone has passed away, and they've left their whole estate to your workplace. Okay, and it's a large estate, and they want to acknowledge this workplace for all the work that they've done, and they know the people in it do such an important job, and they valued it because they experienced it, they went through it, and they were an end user of it, and they want to just say thank you to this current staff, and a timely response that, we get through this next 4 weeks, you will get $10 million each. And first of all, you go, that's bullshit. um, and you're like, oh, okay. And the chairman reiterates, look, guys, here's the will. It's coming. We just need to get through this next 4 weeks. Now, just sit with that for a moment. I know that can be tough for something. Oh, yeah, whatever. But let's just sit with that. You're sitting there in the room. You've been told all you got to do is get through this next 4 weeks, and you get $10 million, and you get all that thing on your list: the houses, the holidays, the helping whānau. Now let that sit, and just say you've acknowledged that, and that everyone's like, yeah, okay, it's happening. That's happening. Holy shit, that's happening. Yeah, boy. And after the high fives and the hugs, now notice how you're feeling again, and now notice how the next 4 weeks might look. Start typing that in for you. Terry, in my mind, how no, I'm getting that report done. Nice. Excited and scared. Kia ora, Suzanne. All right. So start typing in now that you're going to be getting this thing at the end of the 4 weeks, the 10 mil, that what you're going to be able to do with it, knowing that that's in the future. How does this next 4 weeks look now? Start typing those in. Tell me your feelings. What are you feeling? Now just sit with it. Just like take it in. Just say to yourself, yeah, I'm going to get it. I want to know, what does the next 4 weeks look like? We've gone quiet. Maybe we can't believe that we're going to get 10 mil. When I do this in a workshop, a lot of people, like, once they've sat with that, they've gone, oh, hell, man, let's just do this. Let's just do the work. Let's get it done. Come on, man, 4 weeks, this is easy, right? There's like, there's kind of easiness look to it. It kind of went from looking like a mountain, this 4 weeks of being in the house, looking like a mountain, to now being like, man, let's do it. It's like, let's go. And the energy is up, feeling secure, still hectic. I didn't get a break, motivated, worried, but excited. Okay. So when we get this change in feeling, so we had a future. This is where I'm wrapping up here, and want to make some key points. When we walked into our workplace that day, we had a compelling future. We were going somewhere that night that we were excited about, that we were invested in, and we believed was going to happen. And it changed our vibe to very much above the line. So key number one to getting through any challenge is to have a compelling future. If we have a compelling future, we are more likely to being above the line than below the line. Now, right now, a lot of people are in this situation and don't have a compelling future. All they can see is the worst. So what does a compelling future look like? Takes a bit of time, like in 6 months' time. And like my compelling future at the end of this pandemic is that, man, I've got this online business that's thriving in terms of helping other people, helping Māori business owners, helping Māori employers, helping Māori employees, and doing it online means now I'm able to reach more people, whereas before it was a lot of face-to-face. What the compelling future looks like for me in the next 4 weeks is that I now have to manage my time better. Like I literally get maybe 2 to 3 hours at night to do my work because I've got the kids during the day now. And, my darling's doing her mahi. So I'm excited because I have to now learn how to delegate work. I have to offload it rather than do it all myself. So I'm like, when this thing passes, I'm now going to have an online business that I'm now used to only working 2 to 3 hours on a day. And then when the kids go back to work, now what? I've got a day to do stuff. Whereas before I used to think I had to work, I had to hustle, I had to do 7 hours work a day online. but this is actually going to force me to be smarter and work with others. So my compelling future is this, team, is an online business working 2 to 3 hours a day. Now that's pretty compelling, rather than what I was doing before, 7 to 8 hours. And so what that now makes me feel is possible, excited, taking control, looking for solutions. I'm very much feeling above the line. Now, I was a day below the line, all right, just to share. No one is ever perfect. No one is always above the line 100% of the time. What happens is when they go below the line is they just don't stay there. And this is the key. By having a compelling future, it enables us to come up quickly. I was below the line for a day. Whereas past, I had an experience 4 years ago which kept me below the line for 8 months. All right. So this is the power of having a compelling future. Point number one. Point number two, a solution and strategy is when we got given the opportunity after the $10 million, if we call it that, what was given to you, and we feel this change and how we're feeling from seeing the 4 weeks as a mountain to now seeing it as kind of easier. That's called gratitude, right? We're in this tough place and then we got given something. And it's amazing. Remember when you're given something, like you're just like blown away by it, like, it's a gift, or it's like someone's stuff, family have rallied together and they may have done something for you. You're just blown away by the love that they're showing, and that's a sense of gratitude. Type in if you've experienced anything like that. But when you feel gratitude, it actually calms the nervous system. So it goes to the survival brain, and the signal it gives to the survival brain, get this, is love. Just let that sit. So when we're in survival mode and you get a dose of love, it calms the survival brain down. Now, when you calm the survival brain down, you get access to the Google brain, and we can start to see possibilities, hope, take action. So the message there, team, is compelling future. What does it look like? And by doing gratitude and feeling gratitude on a daily basis, we're sending the signal to our survival brain that it's okay, we're loved, we're safe. So the key is then to start doing this daily activity. Just any queries, team, just chuck them in the comments. Kia ora, Kylie, kia ora, maha. Chuck them in the comments. But there's a daily activity that we need to start doing. One of them is this one here. We can use mantras. This is from Richie Hardcore, and I love this one. This is one I've been using in the last 6 months particularly. Whatever situation we might be in and we might feel below the line, let's acknowledge it. Yeah, this is tough, right? Yeah, this is tough that we got to stay in the house for 4 weeks and not do what we're normally used to do. But so am I, right? I'm tougher. This is tough, but I'm tougher. And then we start to see some options and possibilities. I love that one. I haven't figured it out yet. Keeps the hope there, right? Now that number 4 is the big one for me. This challenge is here to teach me something. And I totally believe, for me in that example, it's here to teach me how to manage my time better. It's here how to set up an online business better. And it's here to teach me how I can run a business 3 to 4 hours a day instead of 7 to 8 hours a week. So that is what this challenge, every challenge teaches us a lesson. And ask yourself, when you're in the challenge and you're thinking it sucks and you're thinking it's hard, just ask yourself, what is this teaching me? Okay, and whatever comes into your head, it'll be there, is what the answer is. So what you need to do is a couple of things, and Kylie will have a good chuckle because she's seen this before, but every day you're going to do something that makes you feel grateful. That's the key, team. Feel it. Don't just frickin' write it down on a book and go, I'm grateful for my house, I'm grateful for my da-da-da-da. You need to feel bloomin' grateful, because that's what sends the chemicals to the survival brain and says, calm down. And how do we feel grateful? What's your most joyful moment? Type it in. Hey, Mr. Oliva, type it in. What's your most grateful moment, joyful moment in your journey in life today. Yes, the wedding, yes, the kids. But when we won the 2015 Rugby World Cup back to back, it was like, yeah, yeah, we're snapping and we're clapping and we're hugging. You know how men do that weird ritual when teams win and stuff. Like, yeah, there's joy, there's excitement, there's happiness, right? That was never forget it, real joyful moment. Type in what your joyful moments were, and that's releasing this grateful chemical, this feeling, this chemical, serotonin. It's feeling grateful. That's telling that survival brain to calm down. When you do that, when you feel it, it sends it up. You don't get that response, that chemical going up when you're just doing this. Now, I'm not saying you all have to jump around, but you have to really feel it, right? So most mornings I do cry. Because when I get into those feelings, as if you're right there in those moments of gratefulness, that's the intensity that you've got to generate on a daily basis, because it tunes the RAS to pick up the good things, to see the silver lining, which keeps you above the line, and you stay above the line more often because the filter sees more of it, more good stuff. And that's what we need to feed it. All right. Nice, Roxy. Liverpool beating Barca. All right, so I'll share the link to a couple of gratefulness activities that you can start doing, and you might start small. What I'm about to show you is probably down this end of the spectrum, which is almost crazy and weird, but you might just start with looking at photos. Here's my photos. You might just take some time in the morning and look at your kids' photos and really sit with that moment. We've started to watch old videos or old photos from our phones. We're videoing our kids and they love it. We love it. You know, you remember how things like that might be, I don't know. Those are the big ones. We're doing photos, videos, talking to old friends, but it's something daily. All right. So I do this in my room on a daily basis, and let's see if this works. Now it's on speed, it's playing fast. That's not how fast I usually move. But this is really feeling the things that make me grateful. So I'm thinking them, I'm listening to an audio, and it's telling me to dance at the moment. So that's my dance moves. But when it says, what's the most grateful moment, these images come into my head and I'm feeling it as if I'm there. And that's what we go through. Like, that's the compelling future. Like, there's this bit in there where it says, what do you feel like when you've reached your goal? Like the mountain that you've been looking for. Now, if I was in a rugby changing room or before a game, right, this would not look weird. This would look pretty normal. Yeah, rapping the winners. And I do this down the main road, I'd get locked up for sure. All right, now just think about that. This process, maybe not exactly this one, you don't have to do. You can build up to it. But this process is going to help us with our mental game, and yet we could get locked up by doing it if we do it in the main street. So find a space. The message is, find a space at home on a daily practice, on a daily process where you get to feel gratitude, grateful, joy for things in your life and your journey. Yeah, that's it. Eye of the tiger, shot Elise, because it's going to trigger that brain to start to calm down, get access to above the line, and you'll see the silver lining when you walk out the door on a daily basis like that without even trying. Imagine that. Imagine walking out the door or waking up every morning for the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks, because it'll take 2 weeks to get this ingrained. That you just wake up and you go, wow, man, there's opportunities, possibilities. Let's go. Let me at it, you know? And that's the work that needs to be done on a daily basis. Pick a gratitude practice, feel it, do it every day. Start thinking of what this challenge is teaching us, what the compelling future, what your compelling future could look like, and sinking into that daily. So that's me, team. To wrap up, and I just like going back to this quote here to finish up on. You know, it's not the mountain that we have to conquer, like Sir Ed said. It's not this challenge around the pandemic that we have to conquer. It's not, if we're in business, it's not the other people we have to conquer or our competition. it's ourselves and it's our mental game that we got to conquer. So it's going to take work. Do it daily. Pop any questions you've got on here about this whole process in kōrero. We'll come back over the next couple of days to answer those, and talking with Elise to keep going on a few of these things. So, ngā mihi kia koutou. That's gone for a frickin' hour, so apologies, Elise. But great to share, and hope it's been helpful. Ngā mihi team. Let's get through this together. JT out.